Vampires. The very word conjures images of the undead, creatures of the night that transcend the boundary between the living and the spectral. This fascination with vampires is not a modern phenomenon, but a deeply rooted cultural legacy spanning centuries and continents. Today, we unravel the tapestry of vampire lore, tracing its evolution from ancient mythology to the sophisticated figure of the modern vampire in popular culture. The origins of vampire mythology are as ancient as they are widespread, with nearly every culture harboring tales of creatures that drain the life force of the living. In ancient Mesopotamia, the myth of the Lilitu, demonic entities akin to later vampire legends, spoke of spirits that preyed on pregnant women and infants. Ancient Greece contributed with tales of the Lamia, a figure who transformed from a beauty into a monster that devoured children and drank their blood. As we move into the Middle Ages, the vampire myth becomes entwined with the fabric of European folklore. The 12th century provided accounts of revenants or reanimated corpses, reported by clerics such as William of Newburgh, who cited cases of the dead rising to spread disease among the living. A narrative strikingly similar to modern vampire tales. These accounts, grounded in the fears and superstitions of their time, reflected the anxiety surrounding death and the afterlife prevalent in medieval society. The 18th century witnessed the crystallization of the vampire myth within Eastern Europe, with panic and hysteria leading to a wave of vampire hunts. Reports from regions such as Serbia and Romania told of corpses found with fresh blood at their mouths, leading to stakes through the heart and bodies being burned to prevent the dead from walking. It was during this period that the vampire became formally codified into the lore of the undead, a process furthered by the Enlightenment's fascination with death and the supernatural. The leap from folklore to literature began with the Gothic novel, a genre that embraced the vampire myth, transforming it into a potent symbol of the romantic and the macabre. John Polidori's The Vampire, 1819, introduced the vampire as a charismatic aristocrat, forever shaping the image of the vampire in the popular imagination. This portrayal was cemented by Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1897, which synthesized centuries of vampire lore into the quintessential vampire narrative, setting the stage for the modern interpretation of the vampire. The 20th and 21st centuries have seen the vampire myth explode into popular culture, with films, television, and literature exploring and reinventing the vampire mythos. From the menacing to the seductive, vampires have become complex figures that reflect societal anxieties about mortality, sexuality, and the other. Today's vampires, from the brooding figures of Twilight to the morally complex characters of True Blood, demonstrate the adaptability and enduring appeal of the vampire.